Turkey has revealed it's close to normalising ties with Israel after years of mistrust and acrimony. Both countries have sent representatives to London for talks. Turkey has been one of Israel's closest allies, but the relationship collapsed in 2010 after Israeli Marines raided a civilian ship called the Marmara in international waters in the Mediterranean. It was part of a flotilla trying to deliver aid to the besieged Gaza Strip. 10 Turkish activists were killed during the military intervention. Israel has since apologised for operational mistakes.
1 minute. Well, 1 minute.
And prior to that, in 2009, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who was Prime Minister at the time, stormed off the stage at the 2009 World Economic Forum in Davos after a heated debate with Israel's former President Shimon Peres. Erdogan had questioned Israel's offensive against Hamas in 2008 and 2009. More than 1,300 Palestinians and 14 Israelis were killed during the three-week conflict, which began on the 27th of December. And Erdogan said he walked out on the talk because the moderator cut him off. The deal has yet to be officially signed, but a framework has been agreed, with finality due later this month. And Israel is expected to ease the blockade on Gaza. That would enable Turkey to provide electricity, water, medicine and also food to people there. Diplomatic ties will be restored, with both countries reinstating their ambassadors. And Israel has agreed to pay compensation to families of the Marmara flotilla victims who were killed in the 2010 raid. Now, TRT World's Andrew Hopkins joins us now from Ankara to help us put all of this into perspective, really. Now, Andrew, just take us back to just exactly what happened in the incident involving the Marmara, which was on its way to Gaza in 2010.
Yes, Sally, back in 2010 there were a group of ships that were setting off from off the coast of Cyprus. They were heading for Gaza. They were carrying humanitarian aid, and their aim was to break the blockade that Israel imposes on this territory. Now, one of the ships is as you mentioned, the Marmara. This is a ship that's owned by a major Turkish charity called the IHH. And as this group of ships was approaching Gaza, they were challenged by the Israeli Navy, and commandos boarded the ships. At the time, Israel said that passengers on board resisted. They produced knives and catapults, and that violence ensued. And in that violence, those 10 people were killed, 9 Turkish citizens and 1 Turkish Americans. But as a result, Israel came in for a huge amount of international criticism for acting in a rather heavy-handed manner to this particular situation. And that's why we have this diplomatic standoff, which is still going on 6 years later.
Yeah, and Andrew, why are the Turks and the Israelis seeking close ties again? What's in it for both sides, especially outside of these particular events we're talking about now?
Well, it's mainly about money and resources, as well as the compensation that Turkey wants from the Israeli government for the deaths of its citizens. There's also the question of gas. Turkey has been a major customer of Russia for gas in the past few years, but as you may remember, relations between the two countries have pretty much collapsed since last year. That's when Turkey shot down a Russian fighter jet on the Syrian border because it was violating its airspace, and there's no sign at all that those relations are about to recover. So Turkey's kind of casting about to find where it can get its gas supplies from now. And in recent years, Israel has discovered new gas fields off its coast. So there's obviously maybe a deal to be done there between the two countries, where Israel can pick up more business and Turkey can find another supplier of its gas.
Okay, Andrew, thanks very much for that update there. That's Andrew Hopkins in Ankara for us.